"Declare yourself, Black Shield," he said dryly. "I would have your name before I kill you."
The warrior ignored his demand.
"You wear the armor and you carry the scythe. Has your master given you leave to have a mind of your own then?"
Korak listened carefully. The warrior spoke with a strange inflection, but there was something else. The dour snag of Barbaran rhythms, perhaps. This one evidently knew what Korak was, and why it was unthinkable that he would be on Argavian alone.
"I always had a mind," he replied, "but not always a tongue. I took it back, and it has served me well. I ask again, and I will not do so a third time. Give me your name."
The warrior reached up and, awkwardly, grabbed his gorget seal and twisted the helm free. The hiss of escaping atmosphere was tinged with green and boiled away like steam. When it cleared, the face revealed was a mess of scabs and scars, knitted together with metal pins that threaded through hollow cheeks. He could breathe, he could process the sickened air, and still stand steady. So surely he was a Death Guard under all that ebon plate. One of the old Legion yet.
"I am named Chrysos Morturg,"
the warrior announced, without pride. Free of the Vox Grill's distortion, his accent was neither of terror nor barbarous.
"I once led destroyers to war under the 14th Legion's banner. Perhaps you saw me do so on Istvan Free, or perhaps you turned your face away on that day, unable to bear the shame."
So that was it. These hunters were not led by one of the loyal legions at all, but the disloyal dregs of a disloyal muster. The unworthy and the backward-looking, all of whom should have been long since culled.
"You were there,"
said Korak, a little wonderingly. He had seen the orbital barrages, the waves of landings, and found it hard to countenance the idea that anyone could have lived through that, not even the most doggedly stubborn.
"How did you survive?"
"Do not be foolish. No one survived."
Korak hesitated, then snorted a dry laugh.
"Yet here you are, hunting us down for revenge. It eases your pain, this, does it?"
But Mortarg made no move.
"I have slain 100 of my former brothers already," he growled. "Every time I felt their blood on my gauntlets, my strength grew. And yet you are different. Why are you here, Death Shroud? How can you be here?"
As he listened, a faint, terrible hope kindled in Korak's mind. They were battle brothers of a kind still, the two of them, sundered only by time and temperament. Perhaps that hope was unworthy, a last strand of weakness, but it would not quite die within him.
"What I was, I no longer am,"
Korak said.
"I watched the killing plains of Istvan, and I never turned my face away, for all who perish there deserve to die, at least, as I fought then. And so I remained under the shadow of our master, as his guardian-elect, and I followed him into the void, and we began to burn the Imperium from within."
He paused, thinking back to his second treachery, that had been the harder of the two.
"But then came Molech. You know Molech. Maybe even you will have heard of it. The things I saw there, the dead raised and the living slain. My own brotherhood sacrificed in a ritual of blasphemy to raise an abomination. And on that day, I saw that all our master had ever taught us, all the screeds against the witch and the magics of old night, were as nothing. And if his vows had come to naught, what use were mine?"
He raised one gauntlet to his chest in salute, just as he had done from the earliest days of his fealty.
"So I took my name back. I found my voice once more. Now I have no master, and all swords are turned against me."
Morturg looked skeptical.
"You still wear the colors?" "Mortarion changed. I did not. I am still of Barbarous."
Slowly, as if comprehending a subtle truth, Morturg nodded.
"And you would kill our father, were you to see him again?"
"In a heartbeat."
"And that is your intention, to find a way?"
"It is all I live for."
Veteran Sergeant Korak served the Death Guard Legion during the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy. Standing as among Primarch Mortarian's honor guard, the Death Shroud, this Barbaran aided in the slaughter of the loyalist remnants of his legion during the Istvan Free atrocity. placing his allegiance to the creed of his homeworld and legion above that of the Emperor. His bitter fighting made against the salamanders of the Istvan V Dropside massacre pushed his squad to the limits of their endurance. Yet after the events of the Battle of Molech, Korak's intolerance of witchcraft would force him to defect from his legion. The Pale King's use of sorcery a heresy too great to ignore. Gathering a band of like-minded kinsmen to break away from their legion, Korak's warband captured the Voidcraft, Gogola, and fled from Mortarian's fleet. Vowing to slay his former liege, these renegades refused to abandon their heraldic colors, seeing themselves as the only true reminders of their once glorious legacy. Set upon by a Black Shield fleet within the Leop system, which targeted their lines, alongside his battle brothers Hesh, Ergain, Turgala, and Lythas, Korak abandoned the Gogola, descending upon the planet of Argavian within a Stormbird gunship. Hunted down until only himself and Hesh remained, Korak challenged the leader who pursued them, Chrysos Morturg. A fellow survivor of Istvan III who had fought on the side of the Loyalists, the largely bionic husk who had survived even the Rangdan genocide, remarked that no Death Shroud was permitted to speak. Explaining that his vows had been broken, now pledged to a heretic, Morturg attempted to bring the renegade Death Shroud into the fold of the Loyalist Black Shields, to no avail. Hesh firing upon Morturg to reveal his body to be a Psyker projection, Korak enraged at the use of sorcery would not brook an alliance with any Witchkin. Proclaiming that no Loyalist Death Guard had truly survived the betrayal of Istvan III, Korak's refusal to surrender his last holdout of integrity to a cause would see to his end. Slain by Morturg, Korak's remark that the former destroyer was only a ghost would be countered.
As are you, brother. As are we all.
A chilling footnote to mark the death of a warrior who had given everything to his legion in exchange for betrayal, heresy, and corruption.